Hard to beat. By the way, the video libraries in this era were really a booming. I know we don't even think about things like that anymore, but back then Billboard would not only list like album sales and the number of CDs that were selling, but they would also give you a report of the top selling recreational sports videos. And the WWF always was represented there. The Rock had the number one spot, followed by Austin versus McMahon, followed by the Best of Raw, followed by an Austin special, followed by the most memorable moments of '99. And then they had a Super Bowls piece, but then slot 16 through 14 and uh, even a few more after that were all the WWF. Meanwhile, WCW had one, Sting at 18.
Wow.
So it just goes to show you that, boy, Vince McMahon really understood licensing
And
and
marketing.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
he was really trying to expand and grow. And hey, here's an opportunity to grow some revenues in areas that WCW wasn't even really paying attention to.
Right. And of course, we WCW were part of Turner Home Entertainment, and they were some of the biggest idiots I've ever worked for in my life. So we had that going for us. It's when I was doing Coliseum videos back in the day, we won a number of awards from the VSDA, the Video Software Dealers Association. And I always VSDA would have their conventions in Las Vegas, and we went to it, would go to it, and the porn section is where everybody wanted to go because they always had the porn stars there. And but anyway, won a few awards, best sports video of the year or whatever. And I had a couple of those awards on my wall in the short time I was with the WWF, and I think I took those with me, and I think they may be up in the attic somewhere. I don't know where they are.
It's pretty crazy to think that the company had just gone public in October of the prior year. It was a big day. At the time, they valued the stock at 172 million. It's pretty crazy to think what it's become. In this era, the stock price was around $13 a share. It's pretty wild. Meltzer would even suggest in the newsletter that one would suspect, based on Rock getting pinned, this is a send the fans home happy match because he's going to get the title on the pay-per-view. He almost has to at this point after the WrestleMania finish, or they're in danger of having fans think he can't win the big one. The other possible finish is Austin turning on Rock, but it seems several months early for that one because there's no point in the two of them wrestling each other until WrestleMania next year. And of course, he's right. We know WrestleMania 2001 is going to be Rock and Austin. And he actually predicted it here in April. Hey, what if you turned Austin on Rock? And that happened. But a year later at WrestleMania. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Why would you turn Austin? He's your freaking biggest around.
Yeah.
You know?
I think we've showed that, didn't we? Them turning Austin. Yeah.
Yeah, we
And
watched. It just
we
didn't
watched
work.
no, and you could tell it didn't work that night.
Yes.
But not everything works. Right?
Well, that night I've heard from people. I wasn't there. I was watching on pay-per-view at an apartment, my girlfriend's apartment in Madison. But a bunch of my friends who were there told me that, man, it was loud as hell. People were just cheering because Austin won.
Mm.
Like, you know, it's in Texas. It's his home state. They just wanted to show up and cheer Austin. They weren't paying as much attention to, oh, he worked with Jericho. They were, I mean, not Jericho, but McMahon. They were just like, hey, he won the belt.
Right.
Austin won. I'm happy. We had a write-up about this segment that led to this match, you know, the very first segment.
Yeah. That's a Meltzer write-up?
Yes.
Okay. It's got to be good.
Triple H then told Hebner to bring him the belt from the sawed-off midget, clearly bearing Jericho the first time after putting him over in a segment clearly more designed at putting over Triple H as a heel rather than getting Jericho over as a title contender. Jericho gave the belt back, and Triple H told Hebner to put the belt around his waist. Triple H then told Hebner he was fired, and since he no longer works for the company, they laid him out and kicked his ass. Meltzer would say the whole first hour was tremendous. And I would agree with that. It was a great show. It drew 298,000 people there. But the idea that he says, after Kevin Nash had said what he said about the quote unquote vanilla midgets in the cruiserweight division in WCW, and he was referencing guys like Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit and what have you. But for Jericho to now be called on WWF programming sawed off midget, I could see how certain people would be feeling funny about that. Like, hey, that's not exactly how you put the guy over.
No, that's right. That's right. I agree with that. Is this JBL right here?
Yeah.
Getting
This
back
JBL
down?
get forced out of the ring. Yeah. He's part of
Yeah.
the APA. He's ready to be always pounding ass, you see,
Always pounding ass.
which is something you've lived by your whole life.
I wish.
Hey, speaking of things that you wish, plus Lindsay is hanging out with us. She's got a question. She wants to know, have you ever considered wearing a mesh shirt like Christian is here? Have you ever owned any mesh clothing where we could see those nipples, Tony?
No, I'm not, because shirts, a lot of times shirts itch me around here, and I could see that itching a lot. I could also see that rubbing against your nipples, and
But you like getting your nipples rubbed.
who told you that?
That girl with the mellow yellow in Vegas.
I don't know what you're talking
Diamond,
about.
I think was her name. I think her name was Diamond.
Oh, that's that girl that you were so fucking high you didn't know where you were, and we were telling you shit to say.
You mean with the chocolate woolery 2 and 2?
I'm what?
On Love Connection back in the day, Chuck Woolery. He'd
Okay,
say, we'll be back in 2 and 2. That's 2 minutes, 2 seconds. That was the commercial
I
break.
never watched that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, you're familiar with the show. You've heard
No.
of it.
No,
Did you know that Love Connection was a television show?
I did not.
Have you heard of The Price is Right?
Yes, I have.
Does Wheel of Fortune ring a bell?
It sure does.
Did you know Pat Sajak is getting ready to retire finally?
Did not. Who's going to take his place?
Who gives a fuck?
Steve Harvey?
What was Ryan fucking Seacrest?
Ryan Seacrest.
Does Pat Sajak have the best job in the history of the world and all of mankind?
It would have to be, and I'm sure he has made a great living at it, of just not doing much of anything.
I think it should be your goal to be the Pat Sajak of wrestling.
Okay.
If I could just hang around here and do very little work, but be very, very critical to the operation,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be good. Didn't Sajak have a talk show at one time?
I don't remember that, but here's what I know. The dude makes 300 grand an episode, Tony.
Okay.
So you in?
Fucking A, I'm in.
He makes about 15 million a year, cuz.
Yeah. I'll take 1 year of that shit, and I'll say goodbye.
He makes 14 million a year hosting, and he makes 15 a year from royalties. So he's pulling down almost 30 mil a year.
Okay.
Ryan Seacrest,
Wow,
as you might imagine, is in the running.
I am definitely underpaid.
Well,
so here we go. We got about 2 minutes to go in the show.
why don't you answer the phone every now and again?
Okay. Change my fucking number. Fuck you guys. 1, 2. And Jericho gets out of it. Shane's having a conniption. Only got about 2 minutes left in the show. Let's go.
Here comes the APA ready to pound some ass. Oh, look at there. Schoolboy. Kick out. And knock Kyoto over. Man, Jericho's working now, boy. Look at the speed and the intensity. You can always tell when you're getting close.
Yeah. And the referee's saying, go home. We got 2 minutes.
Yeah. Eat that shit again. Damn it.
Pedigree. Yeah. He ain't gonna do the job, is he?
No, It's all about the game and how you play it. Now that day, if Jericho wasn't happy with his creative,
Mm-hmm.
He could have simply gone and made a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, I know you'd like to beat me clean in the middle of the pedigree.
Mm-hmm.
What if, hypothetically, hear me out now.
Mm-hmm.
What if during a commercial break, we brought in a pool and surrounded the ring with mimosas?
you,
Anyway,
you can't
you
get
know,
that out of your system, can you?
you know the rest.
Yes.